Hey guys, Monke AU here with another video, and today we're going to be matchmaking and predicting UFC Africa. Now, this will be the UFC's first visit to Africa. It will probably take place in South Africa, let's be honest, and they've never gone there before, but now that there's an African champion like Dricus du Plessis and others, it's the perfect time to go, and I will be making a full main card. First fight, Bryce Mitchell versus Sodiq Yusuff. Now, I know that Sadiq's last fight was him getting knocked out by Diego Lopez, but still, he's an African fighter. This is the first fight in the first UFC in Africa. You need to throw him in there. He is arguably top 15 material, and we're gonna give him a fight in Bryce Mitchell. Now, Bryce Mitchell, I'm pretty sure he's coming off 2 losses now. He's coming off the loss to Poirier and notoriously Josh Emmett. Still, with this in mind, I think Mitchell will probably get the submission win here, because Yusuff, historically, he's a little susceptible to submissions. If it weren't Mitchell by submission, it would definitely be Yusuff by knockout. I think that Mitchell's chin has definitely been affected by Emmett and also Poirier. And he is susceptible to submissions himself, as we saw through Poirier, but Poirier is something special, obviously. Still, I think Bryce Mitchell would probably win this by a late submission somewhere. Still, Yusuff has a chance to win. And this is fairly competitive, you know, they're both like bottom top 15 material. This isn't a mismatch, and I think it's a good fight to begin the main card. Second fight, Tim Elliott versus Manel Kape. Now, Tim Elliott, again, veteran of the flyweight division, fought Demetrius Johnson back in the day. We want to give Kape a step down in competition, because last time he fought Makayev, right, who's now out of the UFC. But we want to give him a bounce back fight. He is a star, he is an African fighter. And Tim Elliott, he has the defense to keep up, but Kape's hands, I think if he wants to make a statement, he's really got to let himself go and get this knockout. You know, I don't think there's going to be much time spent on the ground. This is his time to keep that star power up. I think he'll get the knockout. I think he'll be motivated. He'll be in Africa to do it. And yeah, we'll get some crazy statements on the mic afterwards. Yeah, I just think he gets it done by knockout. And if he doesn't get it done by knockout, then at least by a decision. Next fight, Israel Adesanya versus Caio Borralho. I think Adesanya will win this by decision, because Caio Borralho, he's on a streak. Certainly, just beat Jared Cannonier, it should have been a knockout, right? I mean, round 5, Cannonier died in front of everyone. And it's a miracle that fight wasn't stopped, seriously. But Caio's got hands, he's got submission, he's got wrestling, he's a fighting nerd, you know, he's got a great resume, but we're talking about Israel Adesanya here. I just think Adesanya will probably piece him up to a decision. You know, I think especially if he's smart about it, you need to work on the takedown defense. Caio might shoot for you, you're gonna have to work on that, and if you can work hard enough to mitigate that, I think he's got the better striking than Caio. However, Caio, again, I think on paper he's certainly got the better takedown defense and takedown offense. So he could certainly shoot, and who knows, he could probably submit Adesanya. I just think if Adesanya's smart about training, he would work on defending that. And if he can defend that, I think he outstrikes him to a decision. Do I think he gets knocked out? Probably not. I'm going to say no. And I say that because Caio has shown he's resilient to big punches. I mean, we all saw the size of that gash on the side of his face against the Cannonier fight. That would have taken out lesser men. He kept going. I don't think Adesanya knocks him out, but I think he outstrikes him to a decision. Still, great fight. Competitive fight for both guys. Hopefully Adesanya can get back in the picture. And if not, then we got new blood in the middleweight title picture, which is already pretty log jammed as it is. But anyway, co-main event, Kamaru Usman versus Joaquin Buckley. Now, Kamaru hasn't really fought in a long time, which I don't really understand why. Maybe he's got health problems, which is probably the case. I think this is a pretty competitive fight, or I think this is a good fight for Usman. It's not like he's being sent to the dogs, right? It's not like he's fighting a Shavkat or a JDM, which are still winnable fights for him. He's fighting Buckley, right, who on paper, his best win is Wonderboy, which was pretty competitive. You know, Wonderboy was winning that fight until he got randomly caught, and I think that people forget what Usman is capable of. I think that his takedown defense, especially after the Kazmat fight, or if he's smart about it, he will mitigate everything that Joaquin throws at him. It's going to stay on the feet, and Usman has got vicious hands. You know, we forget. I think, if anything, Buckley's probably been gassed up a little bit because of the Steven Wonderboy knockout, but not to rain on his parade, but like, dude, anyone could have caught him with that crazy angle, right? I think Usman gets the knockout, get him back in the win column, and yeah, just get him back generally. You know, it's been far too long that he hasn't fought since last year against Kazmat, which I don't understand. It's like you take a fight on short notice, but then you don't take the time to have a dedicated camp. Who knows? Maybe if he is actually seriously injured, then Buckley does have a legitimate chance. Also, Buckley called him out. There's a storyline here. So yeah, I think this will be a great fight. But yeah, obviously, the main event, we're going to do DDP versus Sean Strickland 2. And I think DDP would probably win this by decision. I'll be honest, for the longest time, I held the opinion that DDP actually did win his first fight against Strickland. But you know what? I've changed my mind. He didn't. He actually lost that fight. He lost round 5. He lost, I can't remember the specifics, but he lost 3-2 to Strickland. Now, Strickland, I don't know. I think what he's got to do is he's got to work on the takedown defense. And I think he needs to really work on the counters, because every single time Dricus would blitz in, he was always being kept at bay by the jab, right? But the second that didn't go his way, he gets blitzed and Strickland gets randomly caught and then gets a headbutt and then gets cut, whatever. Strickland needs to work on the takedown defense so that DDP can't just randomly pick him up at the end of the round to secure the round on points. He needs to make sure he can mitigate against that, which he did a pretty good job against. Work on the jab, but work on the counters as well. Uppercuts, overhands, whatever. Like, as long as it's just countering DDP's blitz forward, which people, especially after the Adesanya fight, can't believe that this fight method wins. Like, just blitz forward as if you've got ice skates on, and somehow you manage to tag the guy up. Strickland, if you're a good boxer, you really got to think about this and really got to find a way to counter him. I don't think he's going to do that though, unfortunately. I mean, if he does, then I think he wins this fight by knockout. If he doesn't, then I think DDP wins him by a fairly reasonable decision, 49-46. Because every single round, it's just going to be the same thing. Blitz, maybe get a lucky cut, and take him down. If anything, this is DDP's fight to lose. Sean Strickland's got to make the adjustments to win this fight. He doesn't even have to go on the offense necessarily, because DDP is always going to be going forward. Strickland just needs to work on countering everything that is thrown against it. And if he can do that, then I think he gets the knockout. But it's his fight to win. I think DDP gets this done by decision. But yeah, that just about does it for my predicting, or my matchmaking and predicting of UFC Africa. I think this was meant to take place probably early 2025, but at this rate, I really don't know. I mean, they booked DDP and Sean Strickland allegedly for Sydney or UFC 312, which if that's the case, then the UFC Africa's out the window. I mean, you've got your South African champion and you're not even going to bother going there. Like, come on. I hope this can be done. It would be great. It really switched things up, but I understand why they wouldn't be able to do it. Still, it's a shame. We have some great African fighters. And yeah, overall, if it were to happen, that'd be cool. But yeah, make sure to leave a like, drop a comment. Are these fights a bit out there? Do you think they're good? Do you agree with my predictions? Yeah, build the community, watch some of my other videos, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.